Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Wallahi al-Azim, you are gay. Don't say this to me. Wallahi, you are gay.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Brother,
Lock 'em up.
What that mean, nigga?
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Come on, man.
Gotcha.
Got your back, my nigga. You sure about that? You sure about that?
Go home and get the gun.
P.O.P. Hold it down. Can a nigga live? Nani?
this is
The Luq-Man Show. The Luq-Man Show.
Then, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home on live TV, let's get ready to suck up!
Aliens, jinns, spirits, fairies, demons, right? I think these are all words that different people throughout time with different world views, different models, different myths. Like, I feel like it's the same phenomenon happening throughout time, and people are describing it with different language or different stories, right? So the idea is basically there's phenomena right now that exist in the natural world, and we have a certain story about it. We have a scientific worldview. An example would be like a thunderstorm with lightning. For us, it's atmospheric pressure, electrical discharge. We have a different way of framing it. But if you're an ancient person in the Norse culture, and you have like a Norse mythology, that's like Thor. That's Thor fighting some other god. Or if you're in ancient Greece, that's Zeus throwing down a thunderbolt from Mount Olympus. The same phenomena exists, but the way you describe it. Does that make sense?
It does, because bro, at the end of the day, all these civilizations have commonalities in their stories.
Okay, so exactly. So what I'm saying is, there's phenomena that are real. There's things that happen in the natural world that are there, but there's people. The way they describe it is different. So I think the alien phenomenon it maps onto all these other like things like in the UK or in Ireland, the fairy stories, the jinns in the Arab countries.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think in a way, I refer to them as the Jinn, because the Jinn, in Arab culture, they're sort of like us, only they're made out of quote unquote fire or ether or what have you. But they also have the same kind of, not emotions. Well, I guess you could say they have emotions too. But there's good Jinn and there's bad Jinn, and they play games and what have you. And in a sense, maybe this phenomenon is playing games with us. If you read a good folklorist or a cultural anthropologist who studied fairy lore, and Jacques Vallée pointed this out in numerous books. It's pretty much identical what the experiences were of the people experiencing these type of things with fairies, leprechauns, elves, sylphs, and those things.
In South America and South Africa, they have their own version of that. They have sky people in Australia that you can see cave paintings from 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let me see here.
You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone. The Twilight.
It's like a question that I always wondered is, these things, like, how do they interact with each other? You know what I mean? Like,
In what way?
Like, these stories are all over these places.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is figure out, basically, is the alien trope that we all understand in our common in the world today, right? So,
Quick question. What's the alien?
I get where we're coming from. What I'm trying to say is they wouldn't even have a concept of an alien, somebody coming from another world. Bro, in the 1990s is when we figured out that every star that you see has a different planets that are circling it. It has its own solar system. Mm-hmm. In the 90s, we figured that out. We thought we were the only solar system. So in these past cultures, you don't have a conception of things from another planet. Even in the Australian example that we're talking about, these sky beings or whatever, even if I see a bird flying, it's still terrestrial. It still has to do with Earth. It's not something from outer space. So if you don't have an outer space conception, everything is of Earth is what I'm saying. The premise is there's the same phenomenon happening, and it's being described by different people throughout different times with different language or like stories and myths. Let's start with the fairy. The fairies. The fairies. No, not those.
Which ones?
From the UK and Ireland. Those.
Okay, those ones.
So the ancient fairies, they're not like the creatures that you know in Disney, like a small little kind of creatures with wings, humanoid kind of things. They have a lot of different conceptions about fairies, where they're tall, they kidnap people, people experience time dilation. What is this one I looked up? The story of Osin entering Tir Nanog.
Tir Nanog, yeah.
What is that? I thought it was a fake.
Yeah, no, it's the Celtic fucking, what do you call it? It's like the afterlife, Valhalla, Elysian Fields.
Like for the Celtics, the Valhalla version.
Yeah, the Elysian Fields, like the afterlife.
Okay, so they hear certain sounds. They get followed.
But more so like spiritual world too, like a parallel spiritual world.
Okay,
it's not. You can't say afterlife,
but it's like
you don't, because you don't have to die to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to die to get there.
I'm not gonna try to find it, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to see how even the not the fairy tales, but the stories about fairies in these parts of the world, right? How they map onto the UFO experience or the UFO tropes that we see today. So they have follow mysterious lights, and they have time dilation. What felt like a short visit ended up being centuries or hours or months. The centuries have passed in the human world when they come back. Those are the type of experiences that people from this part of the world are purporting. That's what they're saying that happened to them. But all of these things, if you just take it from, if you just look at the exact symptoms bullet point, what they describe, that all of those things map onto a lot of the UFO stuff that we see today. Wooms. What is this? Part 2. Ooh, this is your favorite. This is your favorite.
Oh, this is
the Jinni, the Jinn, the Jinn, the Jinn. So, in the Islamic tradition, it describes beings sharing our world or remaining mostly unseen. So, this also has to do with the interdimensional beings trope that has to do with the UFO and the UAP stuff, right? So, they'll say these people share your reality, but they're kind of in a different, like a different dimension. It's like right beside you. Yeah, they can pop in and out of space time.
Right there, bro.
And that right there.
Right there, right here, right there. Right there.
Don't sit sexy right on my podcast right now. Okay. I'm talking about Jinn. No, I was gonna say. So, but they have like they can shapeshift, right? They appear as animals or humans. They have shadow-like. They can go in the shadows and have shadow-like forms. But they also have, what is this? Okay, so there's a lot of the modern tropes that have to do with the entities appearing in reality and disappearing, and that also has to do exactly with the Jinn trope that's in the Islamic world, right?
No, but it's also pre-Islamic though.
Yeah, you're right. Those parts of the world did have concepts of jinns and jinnis
way before.
Exactly. So,
it's like a concept of it's the way that these guys see what do they call it? Jinns or the jinnis is pre-humanoid entity that lived on Earth.
There's actually in those parts of the world that the cultures that really believe in the jinn and stuff like that, right? There's accounts of people having children, men having children, or like having sexual relations with jinn, which maps onto the UFO trope because there's a lot of examples of like semen or egg harvesting in the UFOs, right? Insemination, chimera, kind of like hybrid type beings, right? Imagine you got some jinn pussy, some jinny pussy, and then you got to go deal with your old lady. She's like, you're like, bro, the jinny bitch was made like. What is jinny pussy like? What do you think? Imagine you hit a jinny girl and you have to go back to your.
You know.
Stop it. Get some help.
Those stories of human, like it sounds crazy, human jinn interactions in Somali culture or East African culture
or Muslim culture.
I wouldn't say only Muslim. It's more so.
It's more boonies, like people in like the like.
No, because the jinn phenomenon is a cultural understanding of a word, right? It's like a supernatural.
Yeah,
being.
you can call it genie. That's my whole point, right?
Whole genie. Like
exactly. So that's the whole
Aladdin.
point. Exactly. So that's my whole point. You can call it genie. If you're this party where you're going to call it fairy. If this party where you're going to call it this. If this party where you're going to call it a spirit or a god or a demon. Does that make sense? Depending on if you think it's benevolent or malevolent.
Behind the camera, my belief on the system is the UFOs, the fairies, all these things are somehow interconnected. Somehow, I don't know yet, but that's where.
That's the tree that I'm barking up. That's what I'm sniffing up right now.
That's what I'm trying to do, bro.
Part 3, India and the cosmic beings.
Look around me. Okay. Do not read him. Do not read him. Do not read him the card. What? Do not read him the card.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
There's the Bhagavad Gita. It talks about celestial beings, people from different parts of the universe. It has the Krishna reveals himself in his cosmic form to Arjuna. He has a bunch of eyes, overwhelming light, like a scale that he can't fathom in like a 3D space. There's references to what is this? The flying. There's like flying
chariots.
Yeah, flying chariots, like a UFO kind of
the platforms. There's like a platform.
Exactly, like a flying vehicle kind of thing.
Anti-gravitational devices somehow.
Exactly. So those kind of things, I don't even have to explain. Those map onto exactly the alien trope that we exist in today.
Future technology we don't understand. But this is a always thing I always wondered. What if aliens are just us from the future coming back? We created time travel.
I can't go that far, bro. I can't. I'm just trying to. It's too much, bro. Aliens us from the future. I'm just trying to figure out aliens right now. I'm just trying to connect aliens and jinns, and you're trying to throw that at me, brother.
Yeah,
please.
because there's theories that say that they grade.
I'm sorry, your subscription for the Chat GPT, you got to upgrade. Please come back tomorrow, and maybe you'll have some more water to go through your conversation. No, I can't think about it right now. I'm trying to think aliens. Us from the future, that's like time travel stuff. I can't get into that.
No, because I'm saying the genetic commonalities.
No time travel shit today.
We're going to talk about part 4, Australia and the Wajina sky being. So there's cave paintings in Australia that are tens of thousands of years old. And when you talk to when you look at these cave paintings, they look exactly like our conventional gray alien. They have the big head, the big bulbous head, the insectoid black eyes, right? And when you talk to the Aboriginals, the stories that they keep from their forefathers and their ancestors, these are sky beings, and they have something to do with like praying for rain. But one of the parallels I was thinking about was, firstly, the historians and the culture, the anthropologists, I say, this tribe or the Wajina people do not say these are extraterrestrials. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck what they say. This is my theory. I'm going to use their evidence into my worldview. I think it is. It looks exactly like the great aliens that we see. But also, I was thinking about sky beings, right? That's the same exact chariot UFO type situation. But this part of, we pray them for rain, for them to affect the weather. Us humans right now in 2026, we have had access to cloud seeding and making rain for decades. It was conspiracy theory at one point. Now this is actually a real thing. It happens all the time, especially in the arid parts of the world, or really the desert heavy parts. Cloud seeding is a thing that we could do. So what could an advanced species that like the aliens or the Wajina sky beings, this type of myth,
Wajina,
they'd be capable of it?
What's Wajina again?
Some Australian. They're in Australia. It's Australian cave painting.
Okay.
Next one. Let's see what next.
You remember there's cave paintings in
everywhere
in our lands.
But I'm trying to connect it to the alien stuff. I feel like the cave paintings in a lot of the world are are like Instagram posts for us today. They're like, yo, we got fucking 3 deers, 4 fucking calves. What's up? They're posing with their kills, and we use the weapon. These are the weapons we use. Art 4. We're going to talk about the African tradition and the specific guy called Credo Mutwa. So David Icke, friend of the show, Dot Connector, conspiracy theorist from the UK. He went to South Africa to interview this guy in the 90s. It's like a 6-hour interview. It's pretty interesting. But Credo Mutwa, it's like an old black guy, like a shaman, like super thick glasses, kind of heavy set. He's wearing like a African poncho thing. And he has this cool, super thick necklace and has each individual like amulet that he attributes to certain tribes, certain cultures, certain practices, certain shamans, certain traditions all over Africa. It looks like this guy's wearing like a wizard sash.
Chalice.
Like a sash. Like, you know, the City Hall kind of ones? It's like a super one of wizards. Anyway, this guy was talking about reptilian beings in this interview. He's talking about reptilian beings that come from a different dimension that also, they also like manipulate humans, and they appear to them in altered states. And the word he used for them is called Chitari. Chitaori. Whatever. But one of the trippiest things was later on, I was connected. Once I learned about this, I was connected to something else because, as you know, and I told you about this. If you look back at the first Marvel Avengers movie, that's the army that Loki in that movie used. He brings them from a different dimension and he uses to attack New York. That army is called the Chitauri. You can just literally look up Marvel Chitauri, and it's that trailer for the Avengers in the first movie fighting the Chitauri. And it's almost described in the movie exactly. They appear exactly like the way Credo Mutwa described, where it's a reptilian-like being. They come from a different dimension. It's really trippy stuff.
But when the Chitauri arrived in Africa, they told our people that they were gods and that they were going to give us human beings great gifts on one condition. We had to worship them and accept them as our creators. Some told our people that they were our elder brothers and that this earth had produced them generations ago.
I'm like, who at this production house, or who are the writers, or who, like, what do they know? What kind of, like, what are they winking at? You know, predictive programming, but like this kind of weird,
No,
like the past tense version of that, of history kind of.
No, they're just trying to let you know without letting you know, you know? One of those ones.
The wink.
Yeah, they know that you know, but if you know, you gotta know.
Exactly. You start talking about Chitauri, like,
you gotta know.
Fucking dying of fucking. Okay, so this is also another interesting one, and we're talking about this earlier. The South American shamans from Brazil, the traditions that have the ayahuasca and a lot of these that go back thousands of years ago. The interesting thing, out of all, there's hundreds of thousands of different types of plants in the Amazon. But when you ask these ayahuasqueros, how did your culture figure out that you have to combine this and brew it with this root to get the effects of the ayahuasca, or to get this, right? They actually say the trees, like the environment told us. But anyways, that's a side note. The South American shamans.
What do they mean by that, though? Like, how
because people are asking, out of all the hundreds of thousands of plants and species that exist, right? I don't know what they mean, but they're saying, the plants showed us, like that. These guys, I don't even know that, bro. I'm trying to explain this. I barely understand anything.
No, but
these guys are experiencing alien stuff too, is what I'm saying.
E alienígena não tem.
Como?
Alienígena.
Alienígena? O que é?
Nunca, essa palavra você nunca ouviu falar? Alienígena.
Alienígena, não. Isso chama-se Maio Shibu.
Isso aqui?
Sim.
Mancunawabu.
Mancunawabu.
Sério?
Mancunawabu é um que mora debaixo da terra.
Eu falei, esse aí.
Que se virou formiga hoje, que nós chamamos Una, que é uma formiga grande, chama-se Mancunawabu.
Que essa formiga também é muito perigosa, né, Boina? Se as pessoas ficam mexendo com ela demais, ela leva o espírito da pessoa para debaixo da terra também. Para voltar tem que ser um pajé bem bom.
São seres que pode aparecer em luz divina, com a luz do Nishipã. São seres que a gente pode ter o contato, que moram debaixo da terra.
The Luq-Man Show. The Luq-Man Show.